Heli-logging systems and grapple operations. When logging grapple was first flown, it was intended to supplement the standard operations of long-line choker logging. The company used to have as many as 25 hill crew personnel working under the sky crane, hooking wire chokers to logs and the long line of the aircraft. As well as logistical problems, this way of logging was affected by weather, personnel problems, and the hill crew was vulnerable to many safety infractions, incidents, and accidents. This would stop or slow down daily production targets, which affected the bottom line significantly. So to help compensate for this normal operation, the company developed a mechanical grapple to allow pilots to fly in different areas of logging block to gain back some of the lost flight time. This would happen after the hill crew had gone home for the day or during times when most of the logging was weathered out. The only This only proved the concept, as mechanical grapples were truly unworkable and unproductive for use where smaller wood and building churns was required. In 1993 to 1994, the first design, a fully controllable hydraulic grapple was built, using the hydraulics from the hoist system. Over a few years, the system was refined with three versions of the grapple being designed: Fat Bob's, Slim Jim's, single ram hydraulic grapples, and in 1997, a new utility hydraulic system was built. The lat improvement came with the purchase of an ESCO bunching grapple that was used on rubber tire logging skidders. This proved to be the answer. The Ericsson utilizing this design to drop the choker logging program and devote full time to the grapple logging. Grapple construction and general description. Grapple is constructed of steel, with 3/4 thin side plates, solid or hollow arms, changeable throat plates, two hydraulic rams, and an equalizer valve, and an attachment nut. For different logging operations, throat plates are changed to facilitate gripping power. A smooth plate is used for normal logging operation. This allows the grapple to slide on the log easier. The plates with cones or steel bars welded on are for single stem operations, when grapple is flown in the horizontal position and a tight grip is required. The arms can open up 10 feet tip to tip across each other when closing to form a tight grip on objects. The rams are powered by a 3000 psi supplied via two hydraulic hoses attached to 200-foot long line. And the grapple is an equalizer valve, which keeps the arms moving at a consistent rate and pressure. Open to close time is approximately 4 to 5 seconds. Grapples are painted white with red tips for better visibility for the pilots to judge arm movement and position. All this is attached to the aircraft shock pendant system via two quick disconnect hydraulic couplings and steel eye to the upper hook. The shock system is charged by the makeup pump through a pressure reducer from 1500 psi to 400 psi. The weight of the grapple is approximately 200 pounds. The weight of the 200 long line is approximately 300 pounds. Function overview. The actual operation of the grapple is done via the rocker switch located on the collective. It is the same rocker as used for fire tank snorkel operation. Rocking forward opens the arms, squeezing back closes the arms. This is a natural motion that emulates opening and closing your hand. This system works off the hoist switching system. A cannon plug is changed to the auxiliary hydraulic pack. The rocker switch can be operated from either seat by rotating the hoist control knob to either side. Before the first flight of the day, the system is put into bypass after rotors turning to circulate the oil and the lines and grapples. The procedure should take about 1 minute and is usually done from the right seat. Outside the aircraft, a mechanic will open the valve on the grapple to allow for this procedure to take place. Once this has been done, the valve is closed and the grapple is operated to pull open. This has to be done to check fluid level in the reservoir of the aux pack. The operation is then checked for full open, full close time of 4 to 5 seconds. Part of the system also includes checking the upper hook release system for correct operation. This includes both upper hook release buttons on the cyclic and a guarded switch marked cabless shear on the right side of the center console. With a mechanic stationed at the hook, this left seat electric hook release button, top left button on the cyclic 3 on the figure below will be depressed with associated call, number 1 electric. The right seat pilot will depress this button and call number 2 electric. Next, the left seat pilot will depress the hydraulic release button, top right button on the cyclic, and call number 1 hydraulic. The right seat pilot will depress the hydraulic release and call number 2 hydraulic. Next, the right seat pilot will lift guard and press forward the cable shear switch, calling out number 3 hydraulic. After each of these tests, the mechanic will reset the hook before the next test and call out reset. Electrical systems. The grapple is actuated by a hoist control circuit through not electronically connected to the hoist pump, but to the aux pack through a rerouted cannon plug. The shock hook system is actuated by a makeup system with associated DC. The load cell is electronically powered by AC circuit breaker and receives its signal from a sender in the hydraulic line between shock and accumulators. Upper hook receives power through DC and a switch on the upper right console. The hydraulic systems. The grapple is powered by the auxiliary hydraulic system, as described in Section 7 of this training manual. The 200-foot long line with 2 hydraulic lines is connected to the system via 2 quick disconnect couplers that are attached to the upper hook on the shock impediment. These are meant to disconnect from the system if grapple and long line are jettisoned. The shock impedance system is powered by the makeup subsystem. It receives 400 psi through a pressure reducer for the shock charge through a three-way valve. The upper hook also receives 400 psi from this system. Cockpit controls. The grapple system uses 2 upper hook release buttons, electrical and hydraulic, both on top of each cyclic number 3. 2 hook arm switches, upper right side of console, upper and lower hook. Lower hook is not armed for this configuration. 1 rocker switch, right side of lower console, to activate left or right seat rocker switch. The lower hook release button on each collective is non-functional in this configuration. Because of extended vertical reference flight, the left seat is fitted with an adjustable shoulder rest. Operational information. Before the first flight of the day, the upper hook releases must be checked. Shock must be charged and the grapple oil must be circulated in the system to help flush out any contaminants from the equalizer valve in the grapple. Then grapple must be pulled open to check hydraulic fluid level. The shock should have some pre-charge in it, which should read on the strain gauge between 3,500 to 4,500 pounds. Every morning, it should be recharged by manipulating the shock charge switch located on the upper right console. When the equalizer valve starts to malfunction, the indication will be that the arms will not open or close at an equal rate. The pilot must open the grapple fully. This may take a longer time than normal. This will allow the valve to function normally for a short period of time. Eventually, the valve will have to be replaced. It is important for the pilot to land the grapple with the valve side up for easy access to it. The valve side is painted red for easy identification to the pilot. The service landing will have 2 areas painted for the pilot to land his main wheels in. The left side will be a square and the right side will be a round circle. This is an area that the long line must not be placed in to prevent damage to hydraulic lines attached to the line. This also ensures that the aircraft is always situated in the same spot on the small service landing. Consistency for ground personnel and equipment locations. When the pilot lands the grapple, he will close it until just the tips meet. This will help prevent the long line from becoming entangled in the grapple on liftoff.